Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Wanted to do a real quick video for you today. It's about the SIG P365X macro that I picked up the other day. I did get my holster in for it, and I want to show you that and talk to you just real shortly about carrying concealed. So first of all, the holster that I got was a Trex Sidecar. So it's a sidecar holster, of course, called that because you have a ride along here, right? You have your main deal, which is your firearm, and a ride along. Now with Trex, usually the ride along will be an extra magazine. With Trex, they offer a bunch of different options. So you can have a magazine here, you can have a rifle magazine here, you can have a tourniquet. I think there are a couple of other things, but I know one is you could just have just the extra clip with no ride along at all. And because of the way that they put this together with the pin, where it articulates right here, this pin can be taken out and you could just simply use the holster by itself, right? So there are a bunch of different ways that this could be configured to be used. But this is the configuration that I keep it in. The only thing that may change is if I go to a extended magazine for my spare mag. Now, carrying concealed, like the biggest thing I think with carrying concealed, if you're going to do it on a belt system, because there are a couple of options out there that aren't on a belt. Well, I mean, you have pocket options, which of course the macro is completely out on that. It's not a pocket gun at all. But there are pocket options, but there are also like alternative belt style options. I think one is called, and forgive me if I don't remember the maker of this, I forgot, but it's called an Enigma. So it's kind of a beltless option where they have something that goes around to your waist that is not tied to your pants at all, and then you pull your clothes on over it. It's kind of a neat idea. I don't know that would be for me. Really, for me, appendix fits fine. For years prior to going to appendix, I carried in the say the 3 to 4 o'clock range, somewhere right in there, and that worked fine. But what I noticed from that is, you know, if I carry all day long, I ended up, my back would get to hurting, and I'm older. I have a bit of some back issues, and yeah, it would get to me. Whereas when I carry appendix here, it's doesn't do that. But if you are going to carry on the belt, and here's another thing that helps with that, with any type of back problem that comes from extra weight, would be to get a good belt, right? The one that I use is a it's hard to see, of course, but it is a Core Essentials. Again, it's a ratchet system, so it's pretty much an infinite amount of adjustability there as to how tight you want it or how loose you want it, and it all is adjusted by a small button or a small lever on the bottom of the buckle. I really like that. And again, guys, just want to up front here, since I'm talking about Trex Arms holsters and Core Essentials belts, like, what's my relationship with both companies? I don't have one. Again, they don't know who I am, other than I've ordered stuff from them. Pay for everything with my own money, and I'll give you an honest opinion of what I think about it. I really love the Core Essential belt. They're extremely stiff, which is what you want in a carry belt. So they're stiff, they're easy to operate, they're easy to size. I just really like them. But that's very important if you're going to carry on your belt, is to have a good belt. Now, you could use a good solid leather belt, sure, but I would recommend going with some type of carry belt that is much more rigid, right? So, I mean, I'll take this off and show you just how rigid the belt actually is. So you can see there's like, it doesn't flex. It stays. I can hold it way over here and it stays in that shape, even by a couple of fingers, right? So the belt itself is extremely rigid, and that's important when it comes to carrying, if you're going to carry it for an extended period of time. Sure, for a few short minutes or maybe an hour, you can get away with something a little more flimsy. But if you're going to carry for a prolonged period of time, your only option really is going to be a really rigid belt. So find a good rigid belt to be the core of your system, and then find a decent holster, something that's not flimsy, that will hold up the weight. Now, I said for me that appendix is the way to go. That may not be true for you. Right? Appendix carry isn't for everyone. It isn't for everyone for a lot of different reasons. It could be body type, even though I have seen recently a video of a guy that was 300 pounds carrying appendix, and he seemed to do it very well. But body type usually plays into it. If you have much of a belly in the front, appendix is a little tougher. You need to get the gun lower in order to keep it from printing as bad. And some people just can't get over the fact of where the gun's pointing. Right? It's pointing into your private parts there, and they say, well, I feel a lot better if it's not pointing that way. You know, it's on my side over here. Some would say it's not as safe in that if there is an accidental discharge from there, that you've got a lot of stuff here you don't want to hit. You have femoral arteries going down both legs there. But if you kind of think about it, the way you stand, when you know, if you just normally stand here, your legs are somewhat spread. If your gun is pointing down the center, it's not really pointing at a femoral artery for either side. So I don't know so much about the safety part. For me, if you train with what you do, if you have proper equipment, proper belt, proper holster that is fitted for your gun to make sure that nothing can get in between the trigger and the holster, you know, I don't think you have a lot to worry about. I mean, even though there are these major accidents that happen, at the end of the day, right, let me make this gun safe, but at the end of the day, these are inanimate objects. They don't just go off on their own. There has to be something that causes it, right? Something has to go inside of the trigger guard to make that trigger go off. So if you train as far as if you have to draw and then reinsert your weapon, and you understand, especially in appendix, that you always want to watch your gun go into your holster, then I think you're fine there. But there are other options. There are plenty of other options. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock are very good. You could even carry, instead of inside the waistband, outside the waistband, especially if it's cooler, because you can conceal carry with an outside the waistband holster with a coat or something like that, right? For me, I think appendix is the way to go. And again, I like these Trex holsters. I went to them a little over a year ago. I've carried CompTac. I've carried a lot of cheaper other brands, a bunch of DeSantis holsters. This I really love. Is it the most comfortable holster I've ever carried? No. I think that was a CompTac that I carried a Walther little PPS in for a long time, for many years. And that kind of crossbreed holster where the back of the holster was a leather and then the front had a Kydex shell, extremely comfortable, I'm here to tell you. But this is comfortable nonetheless. Now I do use some tier 1 concealed wedges on the back of my holsters, appendix holsters most of the time. And what that does is not only it gives you a little comfort between your pelvic area and where the holster is, but it also kind of it ends up pushing the holster back a little bit. The butt of your gun comes back, so it helps with the concealment as well. So a little comfort helps with concealment. Works pretty good. So the Trex holster, the Sidecar, does it fit well? Yes, it fits very well with the macro. Now, you hear the little click when it goes in. Love that little click. So yeah, so the gun is in there. It's not coming out, and everything is covered. Cannot get anything into the trigger there. So yeah, it's a well-made holster. It fits me well, and the key for me was they had these available for the macro as soon as the macro was released. Big deal for me, right? Big deal for me. I looked at tier 1 concealed. They didn't have anything. I don't think much of anyone has anything. There are a few holsters out there that could be made to work. This one was made specifically for the macro, and I like it. Again, just a short video. If you want to carry concealed, get you a good belt, get a good holster, and figure out where it fits better on you. For me, it's appendix. For you, it may not be. And I think that's a preferential thing. I don't think there's an objective black and white definitive answer, if you will. That's a lot of redundancy there, right? I don't think there's an objective answer that says that this way is better than another. I carry these sometimes at the 3 and 4 o'clock. You can even carry with the sidecar there. They'll fit. They kind of wrap around your body a little bit on the inside. They're a little less comfortable there. For me, it's appendix, and they go on pretty quick and easy. And then once you get it there, again, the adjustability of the core essentials belt is so nice. You can tighten that right down, draws it into my body, and then I'm good to go. So, and I was right too, guys. The macro conceals just as well as my 48 does. They're about the same gun. So anyway, it's a quick video. See you guys. If you enjoyed this, if you like this content, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share the video. It's the only way that it can get out there.